looking at this title thinking, goodbye 2025. We still got a whole month of this year, okay? 2025 might not be done with me, but I am done with it, okay? No, but really, every year I take off like the month of December. I use that as a time to reflect, replenish, reserve my energy, right? Like, so all these are terms. So that includes like take some time off work, taking some time off of content creation, things like that. So this is the last video you will see from me in 2025. We'll see each other again in 2026. So what I wanted to do in this video, this is more so like a documentation for my own journey, but I wanted to talk about like what 25 has brought me, what I have learned from 2025, because maybe we've learned similar lessons. I believe as a collective, a lot of us are experiencing similar things, right? So I wanted to share that, see what other people have experienced. So in the comments, let me know like how 2025 was for you. And then I'll kind of talk about a little bit, because again, I haven't really spent the time to reflect and think about what I want for myself in 2026. But then I might just share a few things that I want to bring into 2026, given the lessons I have learned in 2025, if that makes sense. So let's hop right into it. For me, 2025 was a year of stagnation. And stagnation due to indecision, okay? And one thing I have learned when it comes to making decisions is making the wrong decision is better than making no decision at all, because making no decision at all just leaves you stuck. And for me, I just didn't know like what I wanted in terms of career, in terms of like relationships. I really didn't know. Like I just knew I wasn't exactly fulfilled or happy like where I was, but I was like, okay, why? Like why aren't you? Okay, and what do you want to do instead? Like what direction do you want to move in? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. And so like I had to spend so much time like really thinking about what do you want, and like months and months were going by and I'm still like do not know what I want, and that is exhausting. It's exhausting to want to move and can't, because you can't make up your mind about something. And essentially that was the entire year until it got to a point where I got sick of it. And it's so interesting because what they say about change is no one can change you. You change when you're ready. And they also say that in order for you to be ready to change, you have to be sick of your own ish, pretty much, right? Like no one can tell you, I'm tired of you acting this way. I'm tired of you doing this. Like the way that you're doing affects me in this way. You're hurting me in this way. That, believe it or not, is not enough to make somebody change. Like they have to be sick of their own stuff. So when you think about, I don't know, let's say substance abusers, and they're having their stuff. They're doing these things, but it's like it has to get to a point where they are tired of waking up in jail. They are tired of losing friendships and romantic partnerships and family and all these relationships because of their behaviors. Like they are tired of being sick every day and like looking bad and feeling terrible. And like one day they have to wake up and like, I'm tired of being like this. And then they have to make that change, right? And so that's kind of what happened to me. I was like, I've spent 6 or 7 months in this state of indecision. I'm exhausting myself. I can't move in any direction. I can't even put one foot in front of the other because I'm just stuck in this position and I'm sick of it. So I gave myself a deadline. I said November 1st. So here we are. Mind you, so I'm going to say March. It's kind of when this whole debacle started happening, maybe even February, up until November. That was that long of a period of indecision. No movement, stagnation. So yeah, I gave myself the deadline. It was like mid to the end of October when I started to feel like, okay, you need to do something. I can't do this anymore. So I gave myself until November 1st, and I said, we're just gonna move a direction. You're gonna make a decision about this, move in that direction. You're gonna make a decision about this, move in that direction. And if it ends up being the wrong decision, then we will figure that out then. So yeah, essentially that is 2025 in a box for me, for my life. And with that came a lot of personal growth and reflection and deep thinking. And so I am grateful for that, because when I was thinking about being stagnant and being unable to make decisions, it had me think, okay, why? Like, why are you so terrible at making decisions sometimes? Why are you so afraid of making the wrong decision? why is there so much resistance? Where are these tendencies coming from? Are we experiencing a little people pleasing? Are we experiencing a little insecurity? Have we broken the trust within ourselves so that we don't trust ourselves to make the best decisions for us? So then all this internal work ended up coming to the surface as well, and just learning a lot about myself. And again, grateful for the experience. I feel like it was necessary, right? These periods of our life a lot of times are necessary for our growth, but it was long and I was exhausted. And so that's why it feels like this year has, like, I just blink and it feels like the year is over. I know people always say that, but to put more of a detail and put a perspective and paint a picture for you, if you can imagine walking somewhere and then like being stuck, like getting stuck in a position, everything else is passing by you. You're still stuck. So by the time you make that next step, everyone else has already lived like an entire life. So to you, it's like, dang, like in this entire year, in this entire span, I've taken one step. I'm not that far from where I just was. And so I don't know, it's just like, to me, it feels like the year just started, because I feel similar to how I felt in the beginning. Because like now that I made a decision and I'm moving in those areas, it's like, okay, now we're starting fresh. Now we have new goals, and like now we can build momentum. And these are all the things I wanted for myself at the beginning of the year that I'm just not really getting to do at the end. So it just feels like through this entire chunk of time, nothing happened, because nothing happened. At least physically, on an internal, spiritual, mental, emotional, lots of things were happening. But just like in the physical space, there was no movement. And that alone is telling, because, we only evaluate, and I guess evaluate isn't the word, but we only acknowledge growth that we can physically see, but we never acknowledge the growth that someone experiences on an internal level. And so that's something to be mindful of, and something that we should acknowledge more and bring to the surface, that someone's internal growth, because not everything is physical, and I think if we only rely on physical aspects of our lives to prove growth, then there's going to be a lot of years like this year, for example, where we feel like we achieved nothing just because there's something physical. But yeah, I'm rambling now. Let's move on to 2026. So with all this newfound knowledge and growth and experiences that I had in 2025, moving into 2026, I feel a little more confident, in my abilities to make decisions for myself. And I feel that there's also this shift in the world right now towards authenticity. And so what helped me make the decision when I gave myself that deadline was like, okay, we're just going to do what feels right to us. We're going to do whatever we feel would better serve us. We want to take some time and really get to know who we are, and like, what would that person want for themselves? How would that person move? And so I think for me, that helped clear up a lot of things, because like work, for example, I was doing a role, and I originally wanted to do that role to grow and learn and experience skills that I otherwise had not developed, right? But the role was just so inauthentic to who I am as a person, right? So then when I sat down, I thought, okay, like, who are you? Like, what is authentic to you? And like, how do you like to move and navigate through the world? Then it was easy at that point to, okay, let's just make a decision towards that. Same in like relationships. Okay, like forget other people. How do you want to be in a relationship? How do you want to run a relationship? What kind of partner do you want to be? So like when I turned everything to myself and like what feels authentic to me, then it was easy to make a decision. I'm like, okay, well, this is what we're going to do, because that's authentic to you and that's who you are. So that momentum, we're going to keep it in 2026, 2027, like every year to come, just moving in what's authentic to me and also what my values are. And I have done I think it was like 2023, maybe, for the first time of my life ever, like really like identifying what my values are. Because like everyone, if you ask someone like, okay, like, do you have values or do you have good values? And like you say, yeah, I have great values. I know what my values are, but like how often, or have you ever actually sat down and wrote what your values are. So in 2023, that was the first time I had ever done that. But this year, I really got, I took this course and I really got even deeper into my values and like why I have those values and where did they come from and like how do I apply them to my life or into every area of my life. So I feel like this year I really took those values and expanded them to all areas of my life. And I realized, going back to what's authentic to me, is if my values are at the top of everything that I do. So if I'm doing something, for example, freedom, okay, that's a big value of mine. I like to have a sense of freedom. And so if I'm doing a job that I feel my freedom is constricted, that's not going to last, right? So realizing that now I'm only going to take positions or do things that allow me to feel free because that's authentic to me and that's a value of mine. Same with like social justice. So if I'm doing something that feels unjust or something that doesn't resonate with me or something that I feel isn't right on a societal, mental, social, whatever level, I'm not going to succeed at it because I can't bring myself to do something that I feel is unjust, right? And so that was like a major lesson learned for me in 2025 and realizing that like that's kind of, I'm not gonna say the missing piece, like the key that was necessary, but it definitely is something that was necessary for me to be able to move and make decisions, because now that I can have something to like put at the front of my mind when it comes to making decisions. Like, okay, if I have to choose this or that, which one of these aligns with my values? And whatever one that is, boom, just do that one. Like if this one goes against your values, then you don't need to be doing that one. So it makes my decision making a lot faster. And then again, it leaves me feeling connected to myself and like authentic to who I am. So that's going to be a big theme here at the end of 2025 going into 2026 is like living authentically in your own energy, in your own self, and being proud of that. And that can be very hard. And sometimes people don't accept you for who you are authentically or the things that you want to do with your life. But that's a them problem. Not even a them problem. It's no one's problem. It's just a misalignment. That's okay. Like not everyone is going to be for you. I don't think we came into this life to connect with every single person that we meet. Like that's not realistic. So it's having that ability to realize that your self-worth is not tied or attached to what someone else perceives as worthy or valuable or whatever. Like you have to come into this knowing that you're already valuable for who you are and what you bring and what you believe and all this stuff. And then just find people that match that. Boom, boom, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. So, yeah, that's gonna be a big thing for 2026. 2025 also brought me the sense of understanding that it's okay to change your mind or change your beliefs, because I feel that a lot of us believe because we believe something for so long, we have to continue to believe that thing. But as we get new information, as we gain new experiences, what we have in our minds, our reality, for example, is going to shift, and that's okay. I always say that a good decision is an informed decision. If you don't have information, you cannot make a good decision. Otherwise, someone's just deciding that for you, right? Because how are you going to decide when you don't have all the information? And so, for me, having these new experiences and being challenged in ways that I never thought I'd be challenged before has really shaped my perspective on a lot of things, and things that I thought that I had once wanted for myself. I'm like, yeah, I actually don't want those things, And it's interesting because everything comes full circle. So when I'm talking about starting this year of having this indecision, not wanting to make the wrong decision, really, there is no wrong decision, because every decision that you make is giving you information to then make another decision for yourself. So it's like, so for example, maybe you decided to make a decision for yourself. You had two decisions. Either you're going to go to culinary school or you were going to go to, some other trade. And maybe you did the culinary school route. And then as you got into that, you realize, I don't really like cooking. I don't really like the hustle and bustle. I don't really enjoy, cooking all day long and like barely getting the time to like sit down and have like a full meal for myself. I don't really like this high pace, whatever. It's like you're learning all these things about yourself. And a lot of times you can feel that was a failed experience because like, oh, I made the wrong decision. I spent all this time in this culinary world and just to get out of it and realize that I don't want to do it. But it's like, what did you gain from that? You learned that you don't like the hustle and bustle. So now from that decision, not only are you going to be able to pick a new career path, but now you're going to pick a career path that isn't so hustle and bustle because you learn from that experience you don't like that. You learn from that experience that you want something a little more slower so that you can like enjoy your life and like have time to sit down and have a meal, like, you know, whatever. And so that's something that I believe I'm taking from this year as well, is being able to just like hop into things, get the experience I need out of it, take the lessons needed from that, and then apply them to every other area of my life or for the rest of my life. Because sometimes it's going to be something that I hop into that I love, and I'm grateful that I did it because I learned what I love and what I like. And there's going to be a situation I hop into and I realize I hate this. This is not not what I thought it was going to be. It's not what I want to do. I don't like this kind of thing. And so now I'm learning what I do like and what I don't like. And then from having that information, now I can go on to make better decisions for myself because assuming that I don't let history repeat itself and I learn from these lessons, that it's really going to help me in my future endeavors. And so that's something I'm looking forward to taking into 2026 and in the rest of my life, is just being okay with hopping into whatever I feel like I want to hop into at that time. Like, it doesn't have to be something I commit to forever. You know, as long as I'm not hurting anyone or, you know, whatever. There's nothing wrong with doing things just for the sake of experience. You know, it doesn't have to be some long-term plan, some long-term commitment. There could be no reason of doing it other than I just want to gain the experience and like just leaving it at that. And the last thing I'll say, because there are a lot more things that I'm sure this year has brought me and taught me, and as I spend the month of December reflecting on it, I'm sure a lot of more things are going to come up. But for the sake of keeping this video short, I've already kind of rambled and been all over the place already. But another thing, and the last thing I'll say about what this year has brought me, what I look forward to take it into 2026, is realizing that the more that I get to know myself, the more I realize I like myself. And not that I never dislike myself, but it's just like no different than learning a new person or learning, well, that's it. No different than learning a new person. Like, the more you explore them and the more you get to know them and connect with them and hear their stories and share experiences with them and all these things, the more things about them you realize that you like, the more things about them you feel connected to, the more you're like, wow, you're such an amazing person, right? And so doing that with myself has been like very rewarding, because the more I dig deep and the more that I think about like what I care about and where I've come from, you know, how I came to be the person I am today, the things that I want for myself, the way that I see the world, you know, all these things, the more I'm digging, really getting to know myself on a deep level, the more I'm like, wow, like, I kind of like you. Like, you're a cool person. And I think that has been a very rewarding experience throughout the year 2025. So 2025 had the stagnation that I did not really enjoy, but it also had that time to sit and grow and learn and connect with myself that I did enjoy a lot. So yeah, two sides of the same coin, I suppose. So yes, in the comments, please let me know how 2025 was for you, lessons learned, things you're looking forward to bringing into 2026. Please stay tuned, subscribe to the channel so that we can get all the new videos and content and fun and education that I'm going to bring to you this upcoming year. If you did like this video, you know what to do. Give me that thumbs up. I'd highly appreciate it. The knowledge we gain is powerful, but it's knowledge we share that makes a difference. So share this video with someone else who may enjoy spending some time reflecting on their 2025. And I shall see you next year. Y'all have a great rest of the year, and I'll see you then. As always, don't forget to crush it.